Hey folks, I wanted to make this quick presentation for you, kind of like a preview to the After the Challenge course that we've got that helps folks maintain their weight loss after going through some kind of a weight loss challenge. So for me, people say, oh, well, why do you always focus on the weight thing? And for me, it absolutely changed my life in a positive way to get more fit and to chase the goals that I like to chase. And I really believe that there's a connection between good health and business success. So I wanted to make this presentation kind of as an offshoot. I don't want to make it its own separate course, but I wanted to make a really quick presentation for you to kind of blend these two subjects together. So if you would, stick with me on this one, and we'll jump into the slides. I'll go through them fairly quick with you. And again, I didn't want to make this a whole course. I just wanted to make it kind of a preview for the After the Challenge course. And so if you've got any questions about using our learning management system or becoming a member on Manana no Mas, know that you can see this slideshow presentation, and you can also sample our stuff with Embrace the Process. And Embracing the Process is a free course on Manana no Mas that allows people to get in and check things out and kind of see how the whole system works and see if it's something you want to be a part of. So you ready? Let's jump into this thing. Okay. Now, this is embarrassing, but if you want to ask me how I know about this stuff, I'm the guy that's on the left there. I'm sitting on the left of my friend Rudy, so I'm on the right of the picture. But this is when I was getting heavier and close to being the heaviest. And for me, I noticed that I was working on growing someone else's business. I was working really hard. It wasn't so much for promotion, but it was to finish a project really, really well. And, I get it. It was hard to eat right and hard to make the time for exercise. And I traveled a lot. And, when that happens, man, you're just shooting yourself in the foot because if you take away your ability to be healthy, you take away your ability to be able to be productive for others. So, this one cuts right to it. If you take a look at this picture here, this is when I was at about my heaviest. I was with my daughter out at a park up in Northern California, and this one's rough, but I was thinking back about this, right? So for me, it was back pain, knee pain, sore neck a lot. I couldn't sleep very well, and that caused me to lose a lot of my focus, and my productivity really began to take it in the shorts. So this is when I had ethical conflicts at work that began to really pop up at a high rate. And so here I am, I've got this celebrity job. On paper, everything looks great. And it was a struggle. I was on the road 200 days a year. I missed my family. I wasn't eating right. I had a corporate card. I could eat anywhere, drink anything I wanted. And I allowed that to kind of take a direction in my life. Now, I want to be specific with something here. You know, the weight gain that you see in this picture is like the symptom of other things that had gone wrong, right? But over time, the weight gain became the focus of what was wrong and was more of a root cause to other things than just the symptom that it started out as, if that makes sense, right? So over time, this thing progressed and it was a symptom. It was a side effect of things that were bad, like the ethical conflicts I was having at work. That was the root cause. But over time, this became the root cause of other concerns. And so, like, I couldn't sit comfortable on airplanes. I couldn't get on and off, getting in and out of hotels, getting on elevators, things like that. It was a pain in the rear end. And I knew things had to change, but I wasn't sure how. For me personally, I got pretty aggressive on decision making. And I wouldn't say everyone needs to follow this exact path. But for me, this is what worked, and I'll share this with you. The first thing I did was I decided to leave my celebrity brand. I decided to leave my celebrity job that I once considered a dream job, and I decided to go independent. Now, I had already had Manana no Mas going from when I lived in another state, but I decided to reboot Manana no Mas, and I left our house in the Redwood Forest. I moved the family 500 miles south to Southern California. Now, this is important. The sicker you get or the more pain you're in, the worse the effects can be. But even something as simple as a stiff neck, it's going to cut into your productivity and it's going to cause you to not produce well. So I began to realize that as negative as things were getting and as frustrated as I was, and this frustration led me to not treat my family well, not treat people well that I should have been treating the best, right? I began to notice that the opposite would also be true. So if I began to get into more of a pattern, going to bed on time, getting up on time, eating well, those types of things, I would have a healthier adjustment to kind of offset the path that I had been on. So I decided to make these decisions. So right after we moved to Southern California, I was getting a solid 8 hours of sleep every night. I was going to bed on time, waking up on time, and coincidentally, a position opened up at another brand. And I decided to take that position instead of being independent and putting all that financial responsibility on myself. I decided to attach myself to another worthy project. And this project was exactly what the doctor ordered for me. I was able to pour myself into work, but at a regulated time. I wasn't traveling away from family 200 days out of the year. I wasn't working 14, 15 hours a day. I was working a normal, 8-hour day, and I was getting up on time and going to bed on time and eating regular meals. And it gave me the opportunity to pursue other things. And for me and my family, that caused us all to make the decision that we were going to move forward pursuing this fitness. And we were already seeing the results of it improving my business life. So we started a 6-week transformation camp, and that led to bicycling and Spartan training. Now, you might be sitting in a similar situation. Maybe you're close to 300 pounds or whatever, and you're going, wait a minute, dude, I'm not running no Spartan races. This is crazy. Please bear with me on this. We started a 6-week transformation camp, and it's one of those deals where you lose the 20 pounds over 6 weeks, and you're able to re-up that and re-up that and re-up that. Well, through that process, I lost almost 60 pounds, and my wife lost over 40. So when you take that much weight off your frame, you find you're able to do things that you once loved doing. I loved bicycling, so I got back into bicycling, and I was really enjoying that. I was cutting weight, and I said, you know what? Let's do a challenge, man. Let's do a warrior dash. Let's do a Spartan race. Let's do this. So I ended up doing, gosh, so far I've done like 4 warrior dashes. I've done 2 Spartans so far. My son's done a Spartan. And, as I paid attention to those daily habits and taking my supplements and exercising every day, I found that I was able to do these types of things. And some people might say, well, that's recreation. What does that have to do with business? Your mind has to be clean to be able to do business, and that's the way I look at this. So if I'm burdened with depression and weight and not feeling well and pain and all these things, and I convert that into positive energy, proper fitness, proper diet, and being rested, man, it frees me up to be so much more productive during my working hours. So that to me is huge. And when I say this, I want to say this with as much humility as possible. The difference that I've made in the last 4 years hasn't just been shedding the weight, but I've increased my family's gross revenue by about 50%. So that to me is huge, right? And that enables me and my family to have certain freedoms that we didn't have when I was also going through depression and battling the weight at the same time. So you can see why I'm really, really sold out to the idea of staying fit and increasing your business life. And so this is really working for us. For me, having an accountability group, having people that I can share the space and this ability with, that's kind of a huge thing for me. So at my office working at Suzuki now, I've got a core group of guys that I like to bicycle with. And man, these guys are awesome, and they've become real friends. And it's the kind of thing like they'll go mountain biking on a Thursday, and I might have a conflict with a family event or something. I'm not going to go, fellas. And, try to say this in a way that makes sense. Not that they want to make me feel bad, but hey, we're going to miss you, man. We need to get you out there and blah, 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 right? And then we get together on some Saturdays. We do some road biking. We do some mountain biking. And I also do BMX with Hayden, my son. So the bicycling for me is a big, big, big deal. Now, in addition to the bicycling, if I don't have a bicycle available, if there's another thing to do, I might go for a run, right? Because if I keep the cardio up, I don't have to worry so much about the dieting. And we'll get into this when you do the after the challenge course, or you do some of the support calls that we have that are bi-weekly. We get people together on the phone and we talk about things on a video chat. But whenever I notice that I am beginning to gain a little weight back, all I do is meter that a little bit, right? So I might increase my output or decrease my intake a little bit, but I'm not dieting like I was when I lost all the weight, right? I like beer and I like food, and I enjoy life at a regular pace, but I also have a lot of fitness that I do, right? So I concentrate on drinking enough water and staying hydrated. I work on one healthy habit at a time, and I stick to it. And then once that habit becomes part of my lifestyle, then I jump on to the next healthy habit, and I try to work that one in. And so for me, if I do it with people, I find that that works best. Okay? So if you are trying to do something solo, one of the things I recommend, like so let's say you like to run by yourself, man, sign up on Strava. It's Strava, and Strava will track your activities. You post them up on the Strava site, and other people will follow you, and you'll follow other people, and then you kind of get like this online accountability group, right? And so it's like, you'll do a 4 mile run, and you'll post up, and then it'll be, hey, congratulations, way to get her done, and then you just feel that much better for doing the stuff that you do. And so that's why I say, what's it going to be for you, right? Do you need to join a gym? Do you need to be in classes? Do you like to run, hiking, biking? Man, just walking the dog to the park is a great way to do something, right? I want to be clear. It's been, got about 3 years now since I went through the weight loss program and then was able to maintain the weight loss. And this is not a one-day decision and a result that you're seeing, right? And I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it was easy. But 4 years out of a really caustic work environment and burdened by that extra 60 pounds, that left me depressed. It left me making bad decisions, bad relationships with people in my family. And I hate to say that weight loss is what the answer was to everything, because it's not. But all of these activities I do, and I do a lot of reading and I do a lot of other things, but being able to be interactive with my family and being able to spend more time with my family and removing that caustic work environment and concentrate on the weight loss, well, that led to a lot of positivity and a lot of great things. So it wasn't easy. I don't want to mislead people and say, hey, this is easy. All you got to do is bam, 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 you get it done. But if you have an accountability group or a small group of people to do things with, or you become a part of the Manana no Mas learning management system and you do the social learning where you can also follow other people, kind of like you do on Strava. But the Manana no Mas thing is it's closed in, so you don't have to worry about outsiders getting in and seeing what you're doing. That's huge, right? So make a decision, and that's kind of what this next slide is going to talk about. Your success. Well, let's just go. I'll read it to you. Your success is right behind your commitment to decide. I can help once you commit. Become a Manana no Mas team member because life is best when you live for today. And I honestly feel that way. Life is best when you live for today. Manana no Mas, tomorrow no more, right? And I use that saying for business. I use it for life. I use it for working out. And, it's a decision. I can't make the decision for you. But once you make the decision and you make a commitment to that decision, man, Manana no Mas can be that support structure that you might need to help you maintain that weight loss and that fitness level once you get down that path. And as I said earlier, and I need to say with as much humility as possible, and I don't want to make guarantees, right? Like, hey, I'm going to triple your income, do this, do that. I don't want to be one of these weirdos taking my picture next to a Lamborghini on social media. But I do want to be honest about it. I want to say, making a change in my fitness enabled me to be more productive for my employer and for my business means. And that has enabled me to raise my family's income. And it's been a really, really good combination of things. I'm healthier, I'm happier, I'm wealthier, and I feel like I'm wiser. So I would really love for you to join the Manana no Mas team, jump into the social learning and do the support calls every 2 weeks. And man, it's fun just to get people on the video call and just hear from different people all over the country. Who's working out, who's eating what, who's seeing what results, who can we celebrate the wins with, and who can we mourn some losses with and make them feel not so crappy and inspire them to get back on track. And I really, really, really enjoy that. And folks, that just about wraps things up here. So I thank you for hanging out. Thank you for seeing everything that we've had to talk about here, and I look forward to seeing you in the Manana no Mas site and in the social learning structure. All right? Have yourself an awesome, awesome day.